Welcome, financial explorers, to our cinematic safari through the wilderness of Grade 7 economics. I'm absolutely thrilled to be your guide today. In this explainer, we're going to track down every single exam answer you need to survive, and honestly, to thrive. Think of this as your ultimate field manual. We'll be observing the wild behaviors of money, how it flows in, how it sneaks out, and exactly how to tame it. So, grab your binoculars, focus up, and let's jump right into the wilderness.
Before we venture into the tall grass, let's quickly check our map for today's explainer. We've got 3 vital habitats to cover. Number 1, household income and expenses. Number 2, understanding profit and loss. And number 3, building better budgets. All right, let's step quietly into Section 1, household income and expenses. We're exploring the domestic habitat first.
So, here is our very first phenomenon to observe. Question 1 asks, do personal income and expenses differ from household to household? Think about your own home compared to your neighbor's. Yes, they absolutely do. No two households have the exact same financial footprint. Different families hunt for different incomes, and they definitely consume different resources. For question 2, we need to spot 2 distinct creatures in the wild when it comes to earning money. First, we have wages. Now, wages are usually paid on a daily or weekly basis. They're fast-moving. Then we have salaries. Salaries are much more steady and predictable, paid out on a monthly basis. Knowing how to spot the difference between these two is absolutely crucial for your exam. Moving on to question 3. What is commission? Well, commission is a really specific type of reward. It's simply money you receive when certain sales are made. It's exactly like a real estate agent claiming a percentage after a successful hunt. Actually, scratch that. I mean a successful house sale. You make the sale, you get a slice of the pie.
Okay, question 4 brings us to the informal sector. What exactly is that? Basically, it's when sales or services happen right from the home habitat. No massive corporate office buildings here. Some brilliant examples of this would be a neighborhood hairdresser operating out of their living room or a local person doing TV repairs straight from their garage. Question 5 asks us to distinguish between 2 kinds of sudden financial windfalls. First is inheritance. This is money passed down through an estate or according to a will when someone passes away. Then we have winnings. Now this is a much more unpredictable beast, representing money you get through gambling or by striking it lucky in a lottery. Both bring money in, but man, they come from completely different ecosystems. For question 6, let's observe the cautious saver. What are savings, and what effect do they actually have right now? Simply put, savings is money put away for the future. But the real kicker here, and examiners love testing this, is that saving money reduces the available money in your bank account at that exact moment. You're basically burying nuts for the winter, which means you can't eat them today. Question 7 asks for a very specific historical fact. Let's track the timeline back to March 2nd, 2000. On this exact date, former President Thabo Mbeki officially opened South Africa's national lottery. And where did this historic event take place? At a ticket office in Langa. Lock those 3 facts into your memory, guys. March 2nd, 2000, Thabo Mbeki, and Langa. Right. Now we shift from income to the money flowing out. Question 8 requires us to identify the 3 types of household expenses. First up, fixed expenses. These are stubborn. They stay the exact same every single month, like school fees. Second, variable expenses. These fluctuate and change every month depending on your usage, like petrol or electricity. And third, occasional or sundry expenses. These are the ones that sneak up on you when you least expect them, paid only when needed, like a sudden doctor's visit. Let's test your tracking skills with question 9's practical application. This is where theory meets the real world. Say a real estate agent earns 250,000 Rand selling a flat. That's commission. Mom selling milk tarts from home for 680 a week, that's the informal sector. Dad working for Sanlam earning 42,000 a month, that's a classic salary. Mom getting 500,000 from grandma's will as inheritance. And if your brother cuts grass on weekends for 250 a day, or mom pays cash for laundry, both of those fall under the informal sector or wages. Take a mental snapshot of these scenarios. You're definitely going to see a matching question just like this. Moving right along, we're migrating into Section 2, understanding profit and loss. The basic rule of the financial jungle applies here, survival of the fittest. Question 10 asks the ultimate survival question for any business out there in the wild. What is its purpose? It really doesn't matter if it's a trading enterprise or a service enterprise. The answer is beautifully simple. The purpose is to make more money than the business spends. If it fails to do this, well, it goes extinct. Building directly on that idea, question 11 asks, when exactly does a business make a profit? Think about it for a second. It happens the moment its income outgrows its expenses. The second the money coming in is greater than the money going out, you've captured a profit.
Let's move to question 12 and see how this builds into actual formulas. We need to break down how profit works depending on the species of business. For trading businesses, so those that buy and sell goods, they survive when their selling price is greater than their cost price. For service businesses, like a plumber or a lawyer, they thrive when their overall income is greater than their expenses. Question 13 is a practical math challenge. To find the profit or loss, you always compare the cost price to the selling price. For example, in transaction A, if your cost is $8,000 and your selling price is $9,500, you sold it for more, so you've got a profit of $1,500. But look at transaction B. Cost is $6,000, but it only sold for $4,000. Ouch! That is a painful loss of $2,000. See how the math works? Just subtract the cost from the selling price, and if you sold it for less than you bought it, you've got a loss.
Now, for question 14, we need to spot the difference between two tricky concepts, gross profit and net profit. Gross profit is pretty basic. It's calculated by subtracting only the cost price from the selling price. But net profit? That is the real clean meat left on the bone. Net profit is what you actually get to keep after all your other deductions, like transport, electricity, packaging, are totally devoured by the business. For question 15, let's observe the exact steps of the net profit formula so you can nail it in your exam. Step 1, start with your gross profit. Step 2, subtract absolutely all other expenses your business had. Step 3, what you're left with equals your net profit. Boom, it's a simple 3-step journey to financial clarity.
And here we are at section 3, building better budgets. Time to talk seasonal planning.
Question 16 asks a super foundational question. What is a budget? Basically, it's an essential survival plan. It's a list of your expected income and your expected expenses used to plan ahead of time. It shows exactly how a business or household will spend its available money so you don't just run out of resources before the month ends. Notice the differing cycles in question 17 regarding budget periods. Households generally set up their budgets every single month to make sure there's enough money to survive all the immediate expenses. Businesses, however, migrate their planning on a much longer timeline. They usually set up annual or yearly budgets to look at the big picture.
For question 18, we identify 2 majestic types of business budgets you've got to know. First, capital budgets. These are for massive leaps, providing for large payments or big amounts, like buying a new building or a delivery truck. Second, we have operating budgets. These handle the daily crawl of routine survival expenses, like paying salaries, water bills, and electricity.
Question 19 asks for the 5 reasons we actually bother to set up budgets. Why go through the effort? Well, number 1, it's an easy way to manage finances. Number 2, it helps you dodge dead predators. 3, it helps you save for the future. 4, it highlights wasteful habits by showing areas where you spend way too much. And 5, it helps you prioritize what truly matters.
And finally, we reach question 20. What are the 3 strict requirements of a surviving budget? Number 1, it must be realistic, no wishful thinking allowed. Number 2, it must be flexible. And number 3, it must be adaptable to changing circumstances in the wild. If your budget has these 3 traits, your finances will survive anything. Which leaves me wondering, my fellow explorers, having tracked all 20 of these crucial concepts today, are you ready to adapt, prioritize, and conquer the wild world of your EMS exam? Keep studying this field guide, and I know you're going to absolutely crush it.